So I wanted to do a real quick update. I hope you can hear me fine. I'm actually in a public restaurant right now, so I don't want to scream too loud. So I wanted to go over a couple things that happened over the past couple of days. There was a hearing on Friday that was for Pearl's like pretrial hearing thing, and basically that's where the defense was trying to limit Gabriel's justice along with other media from being in the courtroom. And, I partially agree on the point that, like, Gabriel's justice, there's only really just three of us. And then there's more people who come every once in a while to kind of support and, like, be there for court. But there was just a lot of people in the courtroom. And, it's not a real big complaint. It's just that on that last day, there was, just a lot of people. So, and there was a media circus, so that was a big thing. Again, it's not a complaint. I kind of understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's just like, we need to have this in the media, and we need people to know what's going on. So I don't believe, I believe a motion was put in for that. I'm not sure that it was, denied or approved or anything. I don't know what the status was from the judge. It was my bad because I forgot that there was a hearing on Friday about that. But the next hearing for that will be on December 6th. And on December 6th, we'll hear more, go over, what experts are allowed to, see Pearl and discuss that, intellectual disability, if there is any. And we'll take it from there. So on Monday, there was a post-trial hearing, and it's in regards to the penalty phase. So I guess it was like pre-penalty, post-trial. I don't know how you want to say that. And the first thing that happened was there was a video recording of this mom of Aguirre's ex-girlfriend. She seems like a nice lady. She worked with him while they were taking care of the elderly. And she said that he was caring and patient with the elderly, never once, hurt them, was just very, very kind. And when she heard the news of, that he was involved with Gabriel's beating and ultimately his death, she said that she was shocked. And when asked if she would trust him now to take care of any kids, and she said, no, there's no way, not after this. She was just like, just very, real about it. And, she was shocked. I think the moral of the story here is that, you never know who you're dealing with. People are, one way in your face, and they're a different way behind closed doors. So who knows, obviously she didn't see any kind of like, sorry, 1 second. I actually just ate. I'm just doing a live.
No problem. I think they come around. They were like, we didn't see somebody. Sorry.
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you.
You got it.
Sorry about that, guys. So also what happened after that video recording of that lady, they did a couple of motions. One motion they did for judicial review of all the victim impact statements, because the defense is really worried that it's going to be highly prejudicial, which is, of course, it's understandable. And that was declined. The judge said, I'm not going to take more time on this. We're not going to keep dragging this court out. We're just going to keep, doing it, and let's go through it. The defense asked if Mr. Hatami or the people would limit the amount of victim impact statements, and they said, well, we'll look into it, but they're going to be quick. They're going to be quick, relevant, and if we have to, we will limit, but they're going to be quick and relevant. So one of the big issues that kept coming up was the defense is worried about the victim impact statements stating anything about like the sentencing, or specifically, let's go for the sentencing. So in the victim impact statements, they need to talk about how they felt. So they'll be like interrogated by, you know, the people and possibly the defense. Somebody can correct me on that. But what they'll talk about is basically how Gabriel affected them and what his life kind of meant to them, but not anything that has to do with sentencing. So nobody should have an opinion on what the sentence is going to be during the victim impact statements or court in general, because we don't know what the sentence is going to be. It could be anything from, you know, 0 to death penalty. And I'm not saying that 0 is an option. I'm saying that is the actual limit, 0 to death penalty. So that's the whole array of penalties that are available. Is all the penalties. All the penalties are available. And that was what we were going to court for, was to have that array of penalties available. The other thing is that they wanted to limit the amount of victim impact statements that were made by non-family members, and these are people that are that may have testified in court. For instance, Dr. Reeby, who is the coroner, Detective Uribe, who was one of the investigating detectives, and Detective O'Quinn. There was a couple of different detectives, but they were impacted. They have never seen anything so violent or vicious in their lives, so they wanted to have maybe a say on behalf of their community, kind of a way. But nothing in any of these victim impact statements are allowed to be about like what kind of future Gabriel would have had or anything like that. Let me give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can switch over because I have more notes and I just didn't have a paper to write them. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So there was this conversation. I don't know if you heard what I just said, but there was basically they want to limit the parameters in which Hatami can talk or ask questions about certain things. So Hatami agreed to that. The people agreed, and so they're gonna make sure that they stay within a certain scope. So that way, you know, it's not this, you know, free for all. And they wanted to make sure that it wasn't repetitive and it wasn't the same information over and over again. There was this conversation, what's going to end up happening, and it's not going to be in the first, like, it won't happen on Monday, but what's going to end up happening is they have these recordings that were done inside the jail. They're not phone call recordings. They are like camera or some kind of recording device that were installed in the jail cells for this particular case by some of the investigating officers. They installed those, and those recordings are going to be made available, possibly. So, as of right now, the defense has the opportunity to deny or to file motions on those on Monday morning because they're not going to be done right away. But they are in regards to conversations between Pearl and Nassaro while they were in the jail cells, which, you know, I can only imagine are so interesting because those are some demented, sick people. There was also, I think we're going to hear that, and then there was also something else. Sorry, 1 second. Let me go backtrack. Oh, that's the other thing. So, in part of the defense, they have it out for the district attorney's office. I mean, of course, you know, it's part of their jobs. But so I know you guys heard about how they were going after Hatami for being emotional and for making the press conference and everything. And, you know, he didn't say anything that hadn't already been said. He was just emotional as he was throughout the trial. Everything that you saw on TV, if you followed along with the live broadcast, everything that you saw on TV was what was happening at the press conference and what was happening any other time. So he's exactly that person that you saw. That's exactly who he is. So he didn't do anything new, but the defense was just like, oh, he was too emotional, and we moved for a mistrial. We moved to recuse him, and basically what happened was that the judge said, this isn't new. This is not new information. This is already something that's been happening, and I'm not gonna do that. So that got denied. The other thing that happened that I actually didn't know is, are you leaving? Okay.
Not yet. I mean, we are, but no.
Okay. What I didn't know is that we have a couple of prosecutors from the DA's office that are part of our community. And when the verdict came out, they apparently made comments in regards to Aguirre. They tried to use that against the district attorney's office, which of course fell short because everybody has a right to their own opinion, and they're not directly involved in the case. So they can say whatever they want. They can feel however they want. We appreciate that they're here with us and that they agree with us and, want to see justice for Gabriel as well. So, but that was brought up, and they tried to throw them under the bus with that. They also talked about, just the amount of press and everything that's been with this case, and the judge was like, that's how it's been. It's always been that way, so it's not going to change. We're not going to start, making new rules for this. We've already ruled on it, and that's what it is. It's basically the ruling was the defense and the prosecution can choose whether or not to talk to the press, or, the media, and but just to be careful. It can either hurt them or do them well. So just to be safe on that. So I'm gonna go through your questions, and then I want to address the social media thing. No, I think, Sarah, he's trying to avoid the death penalty. I don't know. I don't know what Asaro's trying to do, but most likely, I guess they try to avoid, certain penalties. Debbie, so in California, the death penalty is just basically, they're just moved to a different location and kind of die out. Yeah, and I do agree. I want to have life without penalty of parole, or possibility of parole. Uh-huh. Yes, while they were together. Okay, so when the recordings are of them in separate cells in custody, just talking about whatever they're talking about. So I'm not sure what they are. Yeah, Elizabeth, they were communicating. They were still very, I want to say, loving to each other. They had a relationship for all intents and purposes still while they were in jail. I don't know at what point that ended, and I don't know at what point that they started turning on each other, but I can tell you that did in fact happen, and and that's why we got the two separate trials now, because at first, that's the other thing. So one of the questions that was asked during the press conference was whether or not there was a plea deal on the table, and defense was kind of angry because the people said, well, if you were in the court that day, then you knew, what transpired, what was there, what happened. And the defense didn't like that he hinted for people who were in the court should already know what happened. So please remember that at the beginning of this, these two people were going to plead guilty and get life without the possibility of parole. Now, the reason I wanted to go this route was because it would have kept the kids from having to go back and testify. So do remember that we have one more trial where the kids do have to testify, if not two more. So the kids will have to go through this all over again, and we were hoping that wasn't going to be the case. Let's see. texting privileges in jail. I don't know that they have that. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the things that's happening right now. That's kind of, I've been trying to find a way to talk to you guys about this in a way that is, I don't know, maybe action, like an action-related situation. I'm not sure. So what's happening right now, and it happened 4 years ago when we first started the page, and it's happening again now, is that we have an influx of people who are using Gabriel's name for notoriety or for their own benefit. Whatever that benefit is, they're doing it again. So we have an Instagram page right now. Hi, Lily. We have an Instagram page right now that is underscore Gabriel Fernandez 1. That is not created by Gabriel's Justice or anybody associated with Gabriel Fernandez or this case. So I highly suggest. I've sent them. I reported them today. If you get a chance, please report. But basically, any social media that's going to come off of Gabriel's Justice, I'll let you know. This, like I said, this link to YouTube is the only link I'll send you that leads you to YouTube, because we don't post YouTube. We don't post anything. Even with hashtags, I do get a little touchy with some situations, and there's a particular gentleman who is hashtagging Gabriel Fernandez, and I'm not really excited about it. And I've asked him to please leave a note on his page for his followers to stop sending the video. And unfortunately, he said sure, and then he decided to not do that, which I get, because he's trying to get notoriety off of a video where he obviously doesn't know the case, because if he knew the case, he wouldn't be with a video with celebrating Gabriel's grandfather. It would be more about Gabriel, I think, and Gabriel's life, and I think that would have been, but that's neither here nor there. It's, the family's seen it, the family's pleased with it, and I gotta bite my tongue on that. But I just think that using Gabriel's name for notoriety or any kind of way is, it's just inappropriate. Sorry about that. That was an ugly face too. I'm so sorry. So any victims of any kind of tragedy, I don't think should be hashtagged in any kind of things, but that's just me. That's my opinion. I have strong opinions about things. So there is another Facebook group, I guess, that was created very recently that's called Justice for Gabriel. Again, not us. We only do the Gabriel's Justice, and we give you as accurate information as humanly possible. I try to make sure that I'm always giving you as much as I can. Hold on one second. Yes, sharing the petition, perfectly fine. Just so you know, any money that's donated to the petition doesn't go to me. It actually goes to change.org, and they use that to advertise the petition. So yeah, that's fine. We do have the only fundraising we do is for the Gabriel Fernandez scholarship that comes out of Fresno, California, I believe. And then there's the Gabriel Fernandez Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Fund over at Children's Hospital in LA. There is a place in Palmdale, Lancaster called Gabriel's House that was created during the first efforts of this after Gabriel had passed, and during our first efforts of trying to figure out our footing and how we were gonna kind of do this whole movement. And that place is like I said, it's in Palmdale, Lancaster area, and that's for kids to go after school programs and stuff like that. And then there is also the Memorial Garden that's located at Summer Wind Elementary, That is not done by us. That was done specifically by Summerwind Elementary. That was the elementary school that he had went to. The penalty phase, sorry about that, should only last a week or two, from what I was told. I was told that on Friday, I think they said defense would start their own part of it, but it sounds like it's a week or two. It's not long. So on Monday, what we can expect is like opening arguments, opening statements. Okay, so as far as the teacher, and I get a little agitated because I've met Jennifer, and I know I saw the heartbreak in her eye, and I can't even explain to you when we were sitting in court and during closing arguments. And I didn't know what to expect in regards to the pictures that were being shown. I've seen, obviously, the pictures that were being shown throughout the course of the trial. But I was sitting next to his teacher, and I had Emily and Olivia in front of me, who are both cousins, like second or third cousins of Gabriel. And when one of the pictures came up, I heard her, and I looked at her and I said, please stop looking at the picture, because it's a hard picture. It's a hard picture to get out of your head. It's a hard picture to stop thinking about. She had no idea what they were. How could you know? She had no idea. She tried her hardest to get him out of there. She did everything she felt that she could do. She asked people what more she could do. Short of kidnapping him, she did everything she could. So let's please remember that the blame is actually on the people who actually failed him. Jennifer Garcia is not one of those people. She did not fail him. Another thing that I should talk to you guys about is there's new theories about me. I would like to know what. Wait, is Gabriel's house not there anymore? Do you mean the house or the apartment? Sorry, I got confused there. So a new theory on me is that people are saying I am now Gabriel's aunt. And I'm going to make that absolutely abundantly clear. I am not related to Gabriel. There is one article on me that I did for Telemundo, I think, for Jorge Amada, something like that. It's in Spanish. If you want to look it up, feel free. I don't mind, but I'm not related to them. Mariana, is the house no longer there? Because I wasn't aware. I was told it's there, so I don't. If it's not there, I don't know. Really quick, just so you know, right now I've talked to a couple of people in the government in regards to the bill. Okay, I'm still sorry, Mariana. So I wanted to do a real quick update. I hope you can hear me fine. I'm actually in a public restaurant right now, so I don't want to scream too loud. So I wanted to go over a couple things that happened over the past couple of days. There was a hearing on Friday that was for Pearl's like pre-trial hearing thing, and basically that's where the defense was trying to limit Gabriel's justice along with other media from being in the courtroom. And I partially agree on the point that, like, Gabriel's Justice, there's only really just 3 of us. And then there's more people who come every once in a while to kind of support and, like, be there for court. But there was just a lot of people in the courtroom. And, you know, it's not a real big complaint. It's just that on that last day, there was, you know, just a lot of people. So, and there was a media circus. So that was a big thing. Again, it's not a complaint. I kind of understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, we need to have this in the media, and we need people to know what's going on. So I don't believe, I believe a motion was put in for that. I'm not sure that it was, you know, denied or approved or anything. I don't know what the status was from the judge. It was my bad because I forgot that there was a hearing on Friday about that. But the next hearing for that will be on December 6th. And on December 6th, we'll hear more, go over, you know, what experts are allowed to, you know, see Pearl and discuss that, intellectual disability, if there is any. And we'll take it from there. So on Monday, there was a post-trial hearing, and it's in regards to the penalty phase. So I guess it was like pre-penalty, post-trial. I don't know how you want to say that. And the first thing that happened was there was a video recording of this mom of Aguirre's ex-girlfriend. She seems like a nice lady. She worked with him while they were taking care of the elderly. And she said that he was caring and patient with the elderly, never once, you know, hurt them, was just very, very kind. And when she heard the news of, you know, that he was involved with Gabriel's beating and ultimately his death, she said that she was shocked. And when asked if she would trust him now to take care of any kids, and she said, no, there's no way, not after this. She was just like, you know, just very, you know, real about it. And, you know, she was shocked. I think the moral of the story here is that you never know who you're dealing with. People are, you know, one way in your face, and they're a different way behind closed doors. So who knows, you know, obviously she didn't see any kind of like, sorry, 1 second. I actually just ate. I'm just doing a live.
No problem. I think they come around. They were like, we didn't see somebody. Sorry.
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you.
You got it.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. So also what happened after that video recording of that lady, they did a couple of motions. One motion they did for judicial review of all the victim impact statements, because the defense is really worried that it's going to be highly prejudicial, which is, you know, of course it's understandable. And that was declined. The judge said, I'm not going to take more time on this. We're not going to keep dragging this court out. We're just going to keep, you know, doing it, and you know, let's go through it. The defense asked if Mr. Hatami or the people would limit the amount of victim impact statements, and they said, well, you know, we'll look into it, but they're going to be quick. They're going to be quick, relevant, and, you know, if we have to, we will limit, but they're going to be quick and relevant. So one of the big issues that kept coming up was the defense is worried about contact me on the Facebook page. And they get scared. They think I'm going to say it, and I don't. Like, I won't. I can tell you that after the trial, I did ask somebody who is in contact with Gabriel's grandparents. I asked them if they were okay with what we were doing here, what we were trying to accomplish. And because I know at first there was an issue, and, you know, nobody really understood what was happening or what we were doing. But now, from my understanding, is that they are okay with us doing this, with us being here and really supporting Gabriel and really getting the information out and trying to enlighten people and trying to get all these people, and bring justice for Gabriel. Um, Ileana, I actually posted, if you want to do anything, you can send like gifts if you want, for Christmas if you want, I guess. But there is something on the Facebook page. You just have to look through some of the posts, but there is stuff there that tells you how to do that. So the bother monsters. Oh, the other monster. Okay. Hi, Nami. Yeah, so it's going to happen. So there is so December 1st is a pre-trial hearing for the social workers. And I believe the other one's December 6th for Pearl. I mean, I had to double check that because I kind of halfway think that it was December 1st. They might be both December 1st. December 6th might be something else. Hi, Witchy. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to bother this family. They've gone through enough, and I can't imagine how they felt, especially because they had no idea that this was happening to Gabriel. The father had no idea. Nobody knew. The only people that knew were, the people he lived with and, the people by him. Anything else? With the will to survive. Same difference. My only thing is right now is that I'm hoping to have a gig that takes me. So like I'm gonna tell you guys, I do work in film. I'm an assistant director, and sometimes I get to go make movies, and that's kind of my passion. Aside from doing this, it is my passion. So I'm hoping that I get to take off to another state for a little while to go make a movie. If that happens, then we'll try to find a way to get you guys updates as often as possible. But I'm thinking that the trial won't happen in January. So Gabriel's biological father, he was incarcerated at the time. He was in his life for a little while, but then he was incarcerated. The documentary is still being done. I know they were there in court. And even at the press conference, if you look at the photo that I posted, the press conference, the documentary filmmakers all the way on the left side at the very back, you might not be able to see them. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Flo. I don't know, Sarah. I'm not sure how this trial is going to go. I think it's going to be interesting. We are dealing with two different defense attorneys, so we'll see how that goes. We won't know until we get there, really. And then, oh, by the way, Raquel, thank you. So we won't know until we get there, and we could just hope, with all the evidence, and you guys have seen the evidence, you know partially what was going, and for those of you who don't, it's fine. Just get enough of the basics. Like for instance, people always ask who I am. Research. Just, I beg you guys, especially with the way the current affairs are going right now. We should always just make sure that we do our own research and do a search, find scholarly, reports, and, become informed. It's the best thing you can do, not only for yourself, but for the children and for just, society in general, is that we all should, take the time to invest in our own knowledge in regards to all things. And so with this particular case, there's so much out there. And I was actually contemplating doing like a Wikipedia to kind of help people along the way, instead of having to, answer the same question over and over again. Maybe if I do a Wikipedia, I could just say, hey, reference that, and then maybe that'll help. But I'm not sure, how I want to approach that yet. And because, it's monumental that this guy not only got first degree murder, but he also got the special circumstances is monumental. And I can't say it's a win, but it's so bittersweet, because it was something that needed to happen after all these years. It's something that definitely needed to happen. And it's so funny because we were talking about it. Oh, thank you, Lily. It's so interesting because everybody, you guys saw, you saw Aguirre, you saw how he acted, you saw his facial expressions. And when that verdict was read, if you watched him, you saw the slightest change in his eyes. And I was talking about that, and I was just like, he literally figured out that it was real. At that moment in time, he was like, shit just got real. And that's all he, you could see it. And then I finally saw him make a motion yesterday when he smiled at his mom. Yeah, exactly. It was just the slightest of changes, and he realized it was real. That shit just became so super real at that moment. Thank you, Joana. Joanna, his grandmother has passed away, and his maternal grandmother's passed away. His maternal grandfather, I will not have comments for. His paternal grandparents, they now live out of the country, and I'm sure this is hard for them, because they came in and testified as well for the defense, but it was mainly they were trying to prove that that Pearl was a bad person. That's all I can say about that. I don't talk to them. I don't talk to the family. I've actually at the beginning of this whole thing, specifically would not show my face or be photographed at all, just to see what would happen, and it was something that me and Emily had agreed on, and luckily I did, because I was accused of a lot of things, and when she said, well, what does she look like, they had a totally different description of me, had no idea what I looked like, and she was just like, you guys are like, she started seeing things, which is the reason why I've never, I'm sure some people in that family are probably decent people. I just have never talked to them. I don't want to. My focus here is on Gabriel. It's not on them. Okay, guys, I think we're at an end here, yes? Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see. I'll talk to you guys on Monday, right? Happy Thanksgiving, and make sure you're paying attention to everybody and everything. Be a community. Pay attention to everybody. Bye.